Hey guys, so today we're going to be looking at more relationship stories. Yeah, let's just get right into the video. My husband went to a work dinner with a woman and was gone 5 hours. Wasn't where he said he'd be and wouldn't respond to my calls and texts. I kicked him out and he says I'm overreacting. Can anyone help me make sense of what happened here? My husband of 6 years works in a field where sales reps are constantly vying to get him to use the products. One of the ways they do this is by putting on dinners at upscale restaurants, think expensive steakhouses, and inviting groups to come listen to a presentation about the product in exchange for a free steak dinner. So far this year, my husband has attended upwards of 40 of these dinners. I find this a little excessive, especially considering we have a 3-year-old and a 5-month-old at home, and I rarely get a night out. For context, we've been out together without the kids 4 times in the past year. I have asked him to cut back on these dinners, but he refuses, saying he hopes to leverage these relationships into brand-sponsored speaking opportunities that could become a temporary source of secondary income. To his credit, this has happened before and he made some good money before his stint as a speaker ended. Anytime I complain about the number of dinners he attends, he accuses me of not caring about our financial situation or even outright trying to sabotage it. It is my understanding that he attends far more of these dinners than most people in his field. He's just trying to escape her. Okay, he doesn't like staying with her or the family. That's why. Because why is he attending 40 dinners in a year? Excuse me? That's a lot of dinners. Okay, onto the dinner in question. Last week, he forwarded me a screenshot of a text from a sales rep who said she'll be in town for 2 nights and wanted to have dinner with just him while she was there. This is fairly unusual, as most dinners are group affairs with friends and colleagues. On one other occasion, he has met with a sales rep one-on-one, but it was an older man. On this occasion, it was an attractive woman around our age. I looked her up on the socials. They agreed to meet on Monday at 6:30 at a nice restaurant in an expensive part of town because, according to my husband, it was close to her hotel. Made sense, though I raised an eyebrow at his phrasing. He got annoyed but pointed out that it was a dumb thing to say to your wife when you're meeting a woman for dinner at a nice restaurant. He left the house at 6:04. For context, I'm extremely sleep deprived. I'm up with a new baby several times a night, and my husband has refused to participate in night feedings. So by 9 o'clock, I was tired and really wanted to sleep, but the baby was colicking and crying, and it was keeping my toddler awake. I texted my husband to find out when he thought he'd be home, so I could have a sense of how long it'd be before I could sleep. In the text, I said it was no big deal, just give me a ballpark idea of when you'll be home. He didn't respond. He wears an Apple Watch and is constantly responding to texts on his phone, so it was annoying to me that he couldn't give me an ETA after 3 hours at dinner. I called him at 9:15 and he sent me straight to voicemail. I called again at 9:30 with the same result. At this point, I texted and told him I was calling the restaurant. When I did, the host told me there was no one in the restaurant, and he could confidently say that no one was matching my husband's description had been into the restaurant at all that night. I texted that I was calling his parents to see if they had heard from him. They hadn't. Finally, at 10 o'clock, I texted him and told him not to come home. 15 minutes after my last text, he sent me an automated text from his GPS app telling me he'd be home by 10:20 p.m. I texted again and told him to go to his parents' house. He shut up anyway and I wouldn't let him in. He didn't have keys. He said I was acting crazy. He said the restaurant was more like a sports bar, so they went to a nicer place across the street. He said his phone was in his pocket on silent. Excuse me? Like he's literally just having dinner with a sales rep. You don't need to not look at your phone at all for the 3 hours that you were there. That's crazy to me. Except he had to have declined the calls in order to send me straight to voicemail. He said he was trying to generate revenue for our family. He said my self-esteem was not his problem. He said I was creating events in my mind. He said. Oh my gosh. Oh my freaking gosh. I'm just trying to make money for you guys. I'm just trying to make money. If you can't even be there for your family, what's the point of making money? Long story short, I didn't let him in. He slept at his parents and came over to the house in the morning to get his stuff. He's there again tonight, after going to yet another dinner, and likely will be for the foreseeable future. I think his behavior was shady and disrespectful to me, but he thinks I've blown the whole thing out of proportion. I'm so tired that I can't make sense of it, and I need to ask if I'm justified in my anger or if he's right and I'm blowing this out of proportion. What do you think? Thanks in advance. I'd be as mad as she is. Because if he can't answer my calls for 3 hours that he's out for dinner, what the hell is he actually doing? And here's the important thing. He's out at these business dinners, right? But the people that are seeing him are not people that he has to impress, because they're the ones trying to make him try their products. So he can walk away. He can take a call because he's not the one trying to pull in customers. He's not the one trying to pull someone in. The people that are there with him are the ones trying to pull him in. So why can't he take the call? They wouldn't even care if he takes the call because they're trying to impress him. All right? The fact that he has all these excuses, but not once does he ever say, I'm sorry I couldn't be there for you guys. You know, I'm sorry. I'm just trying my hardest to make money. I hope you can just understand that. I'm so sorry. No, he doesn't. He doesn't say I'm sorry. You know, sometimes all a woman needs to hear is I'm sorry. We're simple, okay? We're very simple. Maybe if he just apologized, she wouldn't have cared that much. But it's the fact that he's always making excuses and not being able to be a dad and a husband. Yeah, it gets tiring at that point. Anyways, moving on. My husband hopes I have a C-section. It better not be because of the reason that I'm thinking about. It better not be. I have been with my husband for a little over 10 years, married for 2. We weren't planning on having kids for a couple more years, but we had a slip up with our birth control and now I'm 11 weeks along with our first. The stress of this being an unplanned pregnancy is weighing heavy on us both right now. And I guess to alleviate the anxiety, my husband has been talking more and more about plans for the future and getting ready for the baby. During one of these conversations, he casually dropped the hopes I get a C-section when delivering our child and wondered if it was something that happened often. I had no clue where he got this idea from or why he thought that it was an appropriate thing to say, so I asked what he meant. He explained that he'd heard all the things about natural delivery, the pain and risks of tearing, etc., then added completely serious that he'd hate to have a sex life ruined if I ended up getting a tear or was looser after the birth. He said this last part semi-jokingly, but at that point I was so angry. I couldn't stay calm or explain how stupid what he said was, not even mentioning all the dangers of a C-section. I was repulsed he'd even bring up his own pleasure in the same sentence of something so serious for me, the baby and our well-being. My husband says I'm overreacting and it was just a joke, but I don't know. Again, you're overreacting. You're being overly dramatic. Why can't he just say I'm sorry? Why is he still making this about him? Excuse me? Your wife is literally carrying a baby. She's about to give birth. You want her to go through surgery, the more dangerous route, to give birth? What is wrong with you? Just because he's thinking about his sex life, he doesn't even care about her health, her well-being, the baby, exactly what she said. He's thinking about himself still. Why would he even suggest that? I'm so confused, dude. I mean, I know not all men are like this, okay? But men who are like this, please, just stay single. And the fact that he thinks that's the only thing that's going to affect his sex life, you know when you have a kid, you're going to have to look after the kid, right? You probably can't even sleep properly anymore after you have a kid. So why do you think you can still have sex every single week, every single day after you have a kid? Well, that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Tell me in the comments down below what your thoughts are. And as always, thanks for watching. Hope you guys liked it and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!